I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does, without me lifting a finger. So I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
It's not always about who's going to win.
I think immediately of mealtime. And I see people saying, you're going to sit there until you eat.
I've been there.
I tried it. It didn't work, especially with strong-willed kids.
Yeah, Audrey could sit there for hours.
It will never work. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I'm your host, Joanne Crone, joined here by the dancing Brie Tucker.
Why? Hello. Still trying out a different intro. I don't know.
Still got to try it out. It's a hard one. You got to come in with all the energy. We went to a conference recently, and it was like all about identifying your charisma type and knowing like what you need to put out there, especially in terms of like if you're doing presentations or if you're trying to like sell somebody on something, which I think like as parents, we have to sell our kids on things all the time. Yes. And what I realized, and you probably realized about yourself too, is I'm just very high energy. And sometimes when I try to sell things, I get very serious and nobody takes me seriously because it's just not me. So like the high energy is good.
I think that's just part of our personality. It's funny you say that because just the other day I was talking to my son during dinner and my husband got up and left the room. Mm-hmm. And so later I'm like, hey, did you think I was like doing too much? Well, I was feeling uncomfortable. I'm like, what? He's like, basically I was too high energy for him and he had to leave the room. I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I've ever heard you say that.
Oh,
he didn't say the words, you were too much, but it was between the lines. I was like, oh my God.
It's hard. It's like a hard thing with high energy. Like I've noticed this in myself too. Like if I am high energy and the people around me aren't, I know I am annoying them. I know I am. And I have to like settle it down. And like I get that way when I'm tired too. Like if I'm tired and someone's high energy around me, I'm like,
yeah, same.
Okay, we all need to be quiet right now.
I think a lot of people are, yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's realizing what you need at that moment. But today, actually, we are talking about that sweet spot between collaboration and boundaries. I think it's a really hard, difficult thing to navigate sometimes because you don't want to be the pushover, but you also want to make sure that you're respected and that your needs are fulfilled as well as the rest of your families.
Exactly. And, you know, it's interesting because when we were coming up with this, the title, our initial title is Your House is Not a Democracy. And I read that. And the first thing I heard in my head was, it's not a democracy. It's a cheerocracy. Anybody?
It's a cheerocracy.
Anybody know what movie I'm quoting?
Is that Bring It On?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Wow. 10 points for Joanne. Yeah, right.
There's only one.
There is only one. It is only Bring It On. Bam.
But it's but it's funny because there are so many moments that I want to say because I told you so.
Oh God, yes. Yeah.
Which would make the house a dictatorship instead of like that sweet spot we're trying to do. I mean, just the other day, like my daughter's coming in sick to my office and she's like, we're just talking on Zoom, you and I, and like, we're of course like best friends, but we also work together.
Yeah.
And she cannot come in and talk to me when I am working because she's like, but you were just on with Brie. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, this is a work thing. This is a work thing. And she's like, oh, so you don't love me.
Oh my God.
No, that's not it at all.
I get that so much. Like, so just on Monday, my daughter, it's normally Monday is her go out after school day. I'm trying this new 90s parenting method where Bree's not tracking her kids 24/7. I'm trying to give them a little bit more.
It's good for your mental health as well.
Yeah, give them a little bit more room to spread their wings. So like she's allowed to go out after school. She just has to be home by a certain time. And she couldn't find anybody to go out with. So she came home and she was doing that thing where you could tell she was lonely. But she approached it the wrong way. I'm working. Guess because I'm in the living room, she thinks I'm not really working. But she walks in and she's like, don't say what you always say. And I just want you to hear what I'm going to say and listen to it. And I go, okay, I don't know what I'm stepping into here. Well, I want to go shopping and I want you to come with me. And don't say you have to work because then you don't love me. I literally like slapped down my laptop and I'm like, what do you think I am doing? She goes, but if you choose work over me, you don't love me. I'm like, oh my dear God.
Oh, that is like hardcore emotional manipulation there.
Yeah.
Why are teenagers so good at that?
I don't
That's
know.
the first thing they go to.
They
That's
do.
the first thing.
They do.
Well, we're going to talk about that fine line between setting boundaries and being a pushover. So look forward to this episode and let's get on with the show.
You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self-sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom Podcast.
Okay, Brie, let's start in about this collaboration stuff because I think it really gets a bad rap when you're first explaining it to people. They only have seen what they grew up with. They're my way or the highway parents, and you better listen to me because I'm the authority in this house. And then they compare it, Brie, to gentle, like not like kids rule the show parenting,
Right.
Where it's like, oh, honey, you want this? Okay, here you go. You have that. Where parents are kind of like the pushover.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's the kids in charge. And that's not what we're talking about.
No, not at all. Like, I mean, I'm just going to say in my case, like I am labeled the pushover in my co-parenting arrangement. Like I am the Disney dad, according to my ex, because I try not to use the phrase because I told you so.
Yes.
Or my rules, my house kind of thing.
Yeah. But then you also kind of fall into this pitfall of you're trying to get collaboration for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some things like we just described with our teenagers, they're not going to agree with us on.
Yeah. Because I mean, they'll sit there and be like, not even just teenagers, the littler kids will be like, but I laid out a perfect reasoning. You can't argue with my reasoning. Oh, yes, I can.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're the leader in your house. Like kids need to have their voice. They need to know we hear them.
Mm-hmm.
When my daughter came in and she was sick and she wanted me to talk to her, I heard her.
Yep.
I didn't agree with what the next steps were because obviously I had to work. You had to work at your time. So there's just such a line to walk, knowing that our kids' development, they don't think like us yet as fully formed, like brain adults.
Right.
And that's why like they need us running the show, but they also need to be heard and have their voices heard.
Right. And another factor of that whole, the need for structure is in any structure, we're all going to look to see where the gray areas are, right? Like we're all going to push back on some of the boundaries, not necessarily in a menacing way. We're just trying to see, like, is this hard or is this flexible? And I think that a lot of times when we feel emotional about something, we feel like we're being questioned. We feel like we're not getting the response from the other person that we deserve. We'll let that emotion jump in there. And a lot of times we'll be like, how dare you question me? Like, that's just no. And you see it as them like your kids trying to be like this huge evil mastermind when really they're just like, hey, is this always or a sometimes thing? I'm just kind of curious.
And it's always interesting too, but with this approach, like sometimes I realize I don't have a good reason for what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just like saying that because I think it's quote unquote the way parents should act. And that's the things that my kids like find right away. They're like, Mom, so like I want to go to Black Rock for breakfast and I'm going to use my own money and I'm going to bike there myself. And I'm like, but I'm just scared. I'm scared that like you'll be run over. I'm scared that like someone like I'm just scared. Like, and I'm saying that to myself. I'm not saying that to my kids. And when I realize like it's my fear that's stopping them sometimes, that's when I'll take a step back and I'll be like, okay, you can bike to Black Rock. And then 5 minutes after they leave, I'm tracking them on Life 360. So I'm not doing 90s parenting there.
We all have to go in our own path and take our little steps of what those things that let you do it. Like it's I think that there is a big shift in the discipline and the collaboration portion of things when your kids are old enough that they don't need you there all the time anymore, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it can be it's just there's a difference between the level of collaboration obviously with your kid who is under the age of 10 and your kids that
Mhm.
are like 13, 15, 16, 18. I mean 18 is oh man, I have 18 coming in a couple of weeks. I
Oh
am going
gosh.
to I'm sure I'm going to fail whatever parenting thing is going on when they turn 18 because I am going to have a hard time letting go of that one.
There's no failure. There's just feedback.
there you
That's
go.
what I like to tell myself. No failure, just feedback. Well, right after this, we are going to give you a structure for how you can make decisions as a parent and know how to handle like those non-negotiables that you have in a way that's really respectful of you and your child. So you really develop the relationship you want. And we're going to get into that right after this.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Walmart. New beauty is in bloom at Walmart, and it's all about springtime radiance. From Drybar, Tula Skincare, and hundreds more available online, Walmart has the premium brands you want and this season's on-trend products for flawless, glossy hair and hydrated skin. Big name beauty brands? Check. The things you love? Check. Find trending spring beauty and all you need to look and feel gorgeous at Walmart, on app and online.
The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
So a few years ago, I was introduced to Dr. Ross Greene's work, The Explosive Child. And in his work, he talks about these 3 parenting plans: Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. Now, in our balance community, we have kind of named those plans to help people remember how they're used and when they can be used.
Well, yeah, because I mean, Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, that's boring. That's not us.
That's what
We're high energy.
And of course, Bree and I like to sing,
Yes.
so they all have song lyrics. So the first plan is come together
right now.
now.
Over me. Oh, just left me hanging on the over me there, but that's okay. And if you want to know, we are open for bar mitzvahs and weddings.
Yeah, I honestly thought I might get the words and the lyrics wrong there, so I wanted to have you take it because you seemed very confident. So come together is like the collaborative approach that we recommend when there are problems that occur over and over and over again. Like this isn't the approach to use if your child like just forgets his homework one day. Like, don't do that. But if they forget it several days, then you go into this come together approach.
Yeah.
And what it is it's learning how to question your child, not in a they're on the hot seat kind of like in trouble way, but in a way that you're really curious as to what led them to that decision and what are the roadblocks happening.
Kind of like
I mean, we have questions.
Yeah. Sorry, I was going to be like kind of like a what's going on? Hey, let's chat.
Yeah, like I see that this is causing you difficulty. What's up?
Yep.
That's actually the question that Ross Greene suggests you start with. I see this is causing you difficulty, and he specifically chooses the word difficulty. He doesn't say trouble, he says difficulty. And what's up? And leave it open for them to answer. Now, the first thing that kids who aren't used to being questioned honestly or curiously will answer, they give you the look.
Yeah, they give you
sure.
First the look of, are you crazy? Are you having a stroke?
Yeah.
That's the first look you get.
That's the first look. And then the response you might be getting is nothing, or I don't know. And then that's where I think a lot of parents get really afraid that they're doing the wrong thing.
Yep. My
or that their kids aren't ready.
Yeah, my kids like to do, it's not even, and I've been doing this method with them for a long time, which cracks me up that my almost 18-year-old will still answer when I say, like, you know, what's up, what's going on. I almost always get the response from him of nothing. And then I'm like, wait, was that a question or a statement? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you know what we're doing here. Stop acting like you don't know. You're 18.
Yeah. I know. Well, some questions that you can go into, though, are what were you thinking when you were having this trouble? I use this, I started using this when my son was in first grade and he was like melting down over homework. And so after he stopped melting down, I was like, so what were you thinking when you were looking at your math homework? And he was able to tell me, I don't feel like I know this and I feel like I'm stupid. So it's a very interesting look into your kid's brain when you start to ask them these questions, because you'll see it's not outright defiance. It's not laziness that is causing them to do the things they do. Rather, it's like issues of self-esteem and self-worth and confidence in themselves.
Yeah. And I think that a big piece too with that is no matter how old your kid is and no matter how good they are at self-reflection, when you're overwhelmed, most of the time you don't know. I would describe it as there are 15 tabs open in my head, or no, wait, that's too low. There's 50 tabs open in my brain, and one of them is playing like a very annoying like commercial, and I can't figure out which tab is on fire and playing music. All I know is I can't get it to stop, and it's driving me freaking mad.
Yeah.
So I mean, like with our kids, a lot of times when they are having those difficulties, it's going to be more follow-up questions, more follow-up. Yeah, like you get the nothing, you know, they're you need to give them space and then ask again, because they're gonna need your help to dig down. Like I seriously doubt, like that your son could have just jumped right out and been like, oh yeah, I'm stressed out about this.
No.
He just knows it's homework. I just know that this is what's making, I don't know why. And they need that help.
Exactly. And then the second step of the collaborative approach, we actually have a little acronym called HAPPY for it. So we have appreciate your kids' concerns, which is questioning. Let me back it up though, because we forgot the H.
Oh.
The H is have priorities, which we talked about before. You only do this with recurring problems because it takes so much time. It takes so much time. And then A is appreciate your kids' concerns, asking those questions, understanding their point of view. P is processing your own emotions. So it's telling them, okay, I hear you say all this. I'm concerned about this. And it's very short, very sweet. This is so you are not the pushover in this situation. Your concerns are getting addressed as well. And then the second P is for problem solving. You're going to go into this problem solving method with your kids so that you decide on something that they're going to try or you're going to try. And then Y is yield the work, where you just let this problem be their responsibility instead of your own.
An important factor to remember on that problem solving piece is, again, remember you're working on a collaborative model. That does not mean you give all the problem solutions because yours are the best or because you have them. You really have to insist like that your kid gives like a solution and that you're not solving it for them, because it's going to be really hard to yield when you have such an investment in it.
Yes. The kids need to have autonomy in it and they need to have choice in it for them to actually want to do it. And so that's the essence of the come together plan. The next one is, let's sing it, Bree. Let it go. Let it go. And that's when you step back and just let things happen, because stepping back will teach them better than stepping in. It's like supporting them without rescuing. Those homework assignments that are forgotten at home.
Yeah.
You can't, if you don't step in, if you don't go and bring the homework to school and you just step back and you're like, hey, oh, that's really hard that you left your homework here. I know, like I have a really hard time when I leave something I need at home. And letting it go is so powerful. I see let it go, like it could be handled so many ways. There is
Let's make a list of top 10 situations where you think that you could handle let it go.
Okay. My son's room.
Yes. Yes.
Where there's all these clothes on the floor. That is something I let go. That is his responsibility, his space. I'm just gonna close the door and walk down the hall.
And to be clear on that one, because I can already hear the yeah buts. If a little creature were to run out of that room, Joanne would be right on top of that. That's where like the let it go has to change levels. But in terms of it, the room realistically just not being up to the standards that we feel like it should be, that's different. And that is where let it go works fantastically.
And I swear that room toes the line.
Oh, it does,
all the
right?
time.
Like,
oh yeah.
That's my favorite thing is shut the door. Okay, here's another one. It's very similar to the homework one. I forgot my lunch, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot my lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not bringing you lunch. You will not starve. Your child will not fall over because they missed one meal from you. The school will help them come up with things because if they don't feel that uncomfort, what's the big deal? I'll just call Mom and she'll get it for me every time.
Exactly. They need the discomfort. Another thing I let go are clothing choices.
Oh,
I let them go because they are under my kids' control. It is their body. I mean, there was a phase where my son was wearing 2 different colored socks. And it wasn't because it was a fashion statement that we played it off as a fashion statement. It was because he just didn't want to find the other sock. Yeah. So he grabbed the first 2 out of his laundry.
We had that. It's similar in our house. My son refuses to fold or hang his stuff. And so his shirts and things are typically like very, very wrinkly. Let it go. Let it go. Not my problem.
Let it go.
Not my problem.
Let it go. So that's let it go. And then the third one, and I'm doing this just for time because I think it would be fun to do all the let it goes thing. In fact, if you have a let it go that you think is, this is for your sanity to let it go and tell us over in our podcast Facebook group. It's over there waiting for you. We're going to start a whole thread on this as well. The third plan is I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartbreak.
Again, we are available for your next family get-together.
Yes. The new wedding singers. This is the plan that I think most of us were raised in. This is the authoritarian method of parenting where everything the parent says goes. This is the one that most men actually default to, where most women are more likely to go to the permissive side of parenting. Most men are going to the authoritarian side, which is I want it that way. Now, just to be clear, because it does get very confusing with these parenting styles, we're going for authoritative. Not authoritarian.
Yes, Bree can admit I get those mixed up all the dang time. I'm like, wait, okay, Ev, Aaron, okay, which one is going on right now in the White House? Okay, sorry. What?
Authoritarian.
What?
That's authoritarian, if you needed to know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyways.
I didn't mean to say that.
But authoritarian, the I want it that way style, it's actually kind of useful for situations where safety is involved. So if my kids were running into the street, you better believe I'm not going to be like, tell me, like, what were you thinking when you're running into the street?
Let's collaborate on problem solving now.
Let's collaborate. I would be like, stop.
Get your booty back over here now.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. They would be very loud. I would be very in control. And like, it is the time to like put my foot down for their safety, for everybody's safety. Yeah. That's really the only time though I use the I want it that way style of parenting.
I would probably say I do the same as well. Like, and so what I'm wanting people to hear for this, first of all, is that we are saying there is a time and a place for that. There is, but that is the rare exception, not the norm go-to.
Yes.
If you're wanting to have a relationship with somebody else that is built on respect, mutual respect, love, teaching them positive communication, all the things that you want in the people you meet in the world, your neighbors, your coworkers, your family, all the skills that you want them to have, it's a little bit of things.
It is.
Different times.
It is. And we're going to discuss how to figure out which plan to use at which time and how to actually frame it to your kids when you do have a non-negotiable right after this.
Every cup of Nespresso coffee is an invitation to transform your morning routine into a ritual you can treasure each and every day. Using the Virtuo Pup, a simple touch of the button freshly brews bold aromas and a rich, velvety crema layer for delicious cafe-quality coffee at home. Whether you enjoy your coffee hot or over ice, every sip, every morning is unforgettable. Nothing tastes like Nespresso coffee. Visit Nespresso.com or our app to explore our full range of easy-to-use machines and coffees not found anywhere else.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Fred Warner, linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers. Abercrombie has the new suits you need, plus all the collared shirts to go with them. The Abercrombie & Fitch Collins suit is the only suit you'll ever need for any occasion. Available in slim, classic, and athletic. Pair with a collared classic. Go with a soft, easy-to-wear sweater polo or a comfortable long-sleeve shirt. With so many different fits and fabrics, you can make a look that's completely your own. Add the Abercrombie & Fitch Collins suit and new collared shirts to every occasion this season. Shop online or in store.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was getting frustrated by your forms. Now, Taxes is uploading your forms with a snap, and a TurboTax expert will do your taxes for you. One who's backed by the latest tech, which cross-checks millions of data points for absolute accuracy, all of which makes it easy for you to get the most money back, guaranteed. Get an expert now at TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
So it can be really hard to figure out when you are supposed to use which plan. And first of all, I have to tell you, you're not going to be perfect at this. You are going to mess up. You are going to make mistakes. You are going to have to back up and say, listen, I wish I would have handled that a different way. I do it all the time. I have to go apologize.
Yeah, there is, first of all, throw out that idea that we have to be perfect. It's an all or nothing setup. Like, if there's one thing you're getting from this episode, hopefully, is that we're telling you there's nothing that is all or nothing. Everything has, a spectrum of ways to handle it. But again, thinking back to those qualities you want your kids to have, I would love it if people that make mistakes were able to feel secure enough to fess up to it and to be open to correcting it in some way, shape, or form.
Yes. Right? Yes. No, nobody is perfect at all. I mean, who are you talking about there, Brie? Could it be somebody who's like, I don't know, extra? I
like that. Yeah. We'll leave it as that X aspect. Go on.
Yes.
Aspect.
Yes. But here are some general guidelines for making those decisions. The first thing you have to ask yourself is, can we collaborate on this? Can we reach like a consensus? Like, that's the come together. That's the first choice when possible. So for instance, things that I have had to collaborate on are my son's after school activities. We tried activity after activity after activity, and he wanted to drop out and drop out and drop out. I mean, we've been through piano lessons, through basketball, through piano lessons with a different teacher, like all of these things that I had to step back, ask myself, okay, can we collaborate on this? All I want him to do is find something he is interested in. I don't need him to stick with a specific activity. And that's what I realized. So whenever he dropped out, I knew that, okay, he's going to need a little bit of break, and then he's probably going to get interested in something else again. So I collaborated with him, and I also helped him figure out how to get into those new things. Okay. Like, that's something that is hard, I think, as a parent, because you kind of are a little bit at your kids' whims when you're pursuing their interests. For instance, when my son decided to go into mountain biking and the physical was due like 3 days from then. And so I had to like drop everything, find a like urgent care and take him into the physical, get all the paperwork and all of that stuff. So there is some drawbacks, but of course, I also have room in my schedule to handle that. Whereas if I didn't have room in my schedule, I would of course not agree to that. It's all collaborative.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the other thing. Don't immediately shut up the fact that it could be collaborative because your kid is 5 or whatever. There's still collaborations. Like, think back to like when you had your toddler, like, right? Like when, and maybe you've got a toddler right now, so you're not even thinking back. You're thinking back to, 5 seconds ago. But we're constantly working with toddlers in a way where we're giving them options all the time, right? So you're
Mhm.
working that collaborative bone. You've got it in there. Just, extract yourself a little bit more from the power of making sure the options are only your options. Like asking your kids like what their information is, like what their feedback is. That is such a huge piece of building their self-confidence, their ability to speak their mind, and their ability to listen to others and to realize that, in conversations and these kind of collaborations, it's not always about who's going to win. It's about how are we going to solve this? And I think that's a huge factor too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's kind of like I think immediately of mealtime when you
Yes.
see
Oh
younger
my
kids.
gosh, yeah.
Because that could be such a
Mealtime
battle.
and chores.
And of
Those two.
chores, yeah. But the I want it that way will never work for mealtime. And I see people trying to make it work, saying like, you're going to sit there until you eat because there's going to be no snacking later and all of these things.
Guilty
and
as charged. I've been there.
Yes. Yeah, I tried it for a little bit and I just noticed it didn't work, especially with strong-willed kids. I mean, they will wait you out. That is like
Yeah, Audrey could sit there for hours. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And like in the case of that way, that could definitely be a collaborative approach. And the way I've approached it is first, like my kids usually don't eat things because they don't like it. It's like either a texture thing. It would be telling me to sit down and eat a plate of raw cucumbers. I would gag. I hate raw cucumbers so much.
Cucumbers, period. So there we go.
I hate them. But if you're thinking of like, if you're sitting down, think of a food you absolutely can't like detest. And that is the situation that your kids are finding themselves in when they don't want to eat. And so if you think about it that way, and you're like, okay, I don't want to eat this food, then like, how can we get into a collaborative solving process? One thing that my kids and I came up with is that having like healthier snacks that I was okay with them eating later and that they liked as well. And so I didn't have to worry about them eating. They could just grab a healthy snack if they were hungry later. And we didn't have to go through that whole like one-on-one, who's gonna win at the dinner table. So,
but let's also throw this in there because I can hear the I'm the queen of the yeah buts, I swear. So I can hear a voice in my head of somebody in my past, perhaps, saying, "Yeah, but now no kid's ever gonna want to eat like their greens. So now you just gave them the hand to not eat any at all." Sorry, I'm not trying to like make an attitude towards anybody else. That is just literally how it was said to me on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Is that but that's not what we're saying. Like you don't like it. We're just collaboration comes in at some point. At some point we keep talking about it.
Always a compromise. There's always a compromise. If you're talking about greens, I mean, like, what did my parents do? Oh, they put some butter on that greens, or they put some cheese on the greens, and then you like phase out the cheese and the butter and stuff, and bam, you have someone who likes greens. Like, I eat broccoli now. Oh my gosh, it's the most delicious food in the entire world. When I was a kid, it was covered in cheese.
I say no. I say nay, you are crazy. I do not like broccoli still. However,
we're going to have to go through this because so Josh did not like broccoli either. And then he went through this whole like weight loss thing where he had to give up a lot of sugar, a lot of processed food, and he realized that his taste changed.
They do change. They do change, but I still don't like broccoli.
You still don't like broccoli? Okay.
Yeah, I've done the Whole30 plenty of times. I've learned to eat a lot of things that I never liked before, but I'm still not a broccoli fan. But that's okay.
It's like with cucumbers.
Yeah. Like it's like so like there's collaborations, and as they get older, things that you've done and I've done, we had our kids help cook meals. And as a result, like, okay, the only rule was like there has to be some kind of a vegetable with it. And then there has to be some kind of like main dish or protein. And I'm saying it that way because like both of our kids have made mac and cheese before for dinner. So,
yeah.
So, I mean, anyway, like you will bring it in, people. You will bring it in.
You will.
Your child's not going to just eat crackers the rest of their life.
I swear they won't. So that's the first thing. Can we collaborate on this? The second one is this a learning opportunity, or do I have other problems I need to concentrate on first? Like that's also something where you consider to use let it go.
Yes.
Because if you have like a child who is not brushing his teeth at night maybe and is getting tons of cavities, like you would probably want to focus on that issue first rather than picking up the clothes off the floor.
Yeah.
So that would be a good thing to let go of the clothes for now, focus on that, get that good, and then go to the next thing.
Yes. And then the next one after that, and this is one that I ask myself a lot when my gut reaction is a solid. In my head, I'm hearing no because I said so. When I'm hearing that in my head, that's when I have to ask myself, is this truly non-negotiable? Is this something that like I absolutely positively cannot have them do because it is not safe for them? It goes against our family values. Like, is this a solid, sorry, we cannot negotiate on this one.
Yeah. And that's where you use the I want it that way. And those are things of safety and things of like, I mean, I had a very recent non-negotiable where, of course, when kids get their driver's license, they have that 6-month period where they're only supposed to drive in the car with one other non-family member driver. And I knew by watching my daughter, like she gets easily distracted when there's other people in the car. She couldn't see that.
Yeah,
and she
I know,
wanted
right?
to drive down to Tucson with a friend to go on a college visit with my sister. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And she's like, Mom, you don't like follow the other rules. You say you're not a rule follower. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to follow this one because here's why. Like, it is for your safety. And also, I am the one on the line if you are pulled over by the cops for any reason. Like, I am still responsible for you. So, and she's like, ugh. But she's getting better now with her driving skills and everything. And so that was a non-negotiable where I was like, I want it that way. It's for your safety.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So we have covered our 3 plans and how your home is not a democracy. Now, this isn't the end of our conversation with this because for the first time ever, we here at No Guilt Mom have a 2-parter. So catch our next episode next week where we're going to go into specific situations and how to set boundaries and how to frame things so that you don't come up like the dictator, more of a benevolent dictator, not really dictator. And how you
I was going to say, I don't like that word. Can we remove that?
Yeah, I don't like it either. I was like, yeah, you don't come off like it. Don't come off like it. But use this collaboration method in your own home.
So share this episode. I am willing to bet you've got more than a couple of friends that could use this.
Absolutely. So remember, the best mom is a happy mom. Take care of you, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media at No Guilt Mom. You can also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.
Are you overwhelmed by the things that get in the way of you doing what you want to do? Are you looking for ways to simplify life to better align with your values? Do you want to create space in your schedule so you have room for more of the good stuff? Play, joy, relationships, gratitude, and more? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I invite you to check out Edit Your Life, a podcast to help you edit the unnecessary from your life so you have more room to enjoy the awesome. Through episodes with me, Christine Coe, and a range of super smart, compassionate, and thoughtful guests, you'll come away with big picture insights and practical ways to declutter your home, schedule, and mental space without getting bogged down by perfection. I have always believed that small moments and actions matter tremendously. My goal is to help you find agency and space in your life through doable baby steps that will leave you feeling accomplished instead of overwhelmed. Check out Edit Your Life wherever you enjoy your podcasts.